Does this look like a meringue to you? A meringue is whipped egg whites with sugar added to it to stabilize it. The type of sugar, the temperature to which it is cooked or not cooked, determines what the meringue is called, how firm it is, how it tastes, and how the finished product is used. The Petit Four boxes that I make at the holiday contain not only cookies but also confections. Nougat Turon is a confection that is whipped. It is actually very similar to an Italian meringue. In the bowl on the whip goes egg whites with a little bit of salt to stabilize the egg proteins. Into a heavy-bottomed stainless steel pot that is taller than it is wide goes water first, followed by honey and sucrose. Just like you make an Italian meringue, the egg whites are whipped until medium peak, while the sugar is cooked to a very high temperature. You must time when the egg whites are ready with when the sugar reaches temperature. An Italian meringue is cooked way hotter than any other meringue. Nougat is cooked way hotter than an Italian meringue. What is happening in the pot is that the moisture is being cooked off, so there is a concentration of the sugars, and as the temperature rises and steam is cooked off, it solidifies into a much firmer substance when once cool. An Italian meringue is considered more shelf-stable than a Swiss meringue. Shelf-stable is a fancy way of saying that the water that lives in your product is locked in. The water available to weep in a Swiss meringue is greater than the water available to weep in an Italian meringue. In nougat, there's even less water. That's how it becomes a confection or a candy. The humidity in the air, the temperature to which you cook your sugar, and what you want your final product to be determines the actual temperature you will take the sugar to. The range for an Italian meringue is anywhere between 118 Celsius and 125. For comparison, nougat is cooked between 149 and 154 degrees Celsius. That's around 310 Fahrenheit, and it's considered at the upper end of the hard crack stage. The art of making an Italian meringue or nougat is in deciding how firm you want your final product to be. This is often determined by the weather and how you enjoy the finished product. I decided in advance that I would only cook this batch to 149 degrees Celsius because I wanted it to be softer. Even though it's winter and I am used to a very dry winter, where I live is very humid. The end product ended up a little softer than I had intended. I was still able to cut and wrap them, but they are a little sticky. Typically, nougat wrapped tightly and in an airtight container will last up to 2 weeks. I add this to my holiday box because it breaks up what is expected. A little cookie, a little caramel, a little nougat, and a biscotti, and you have an interesting selection of cookies and confections to share.